Yo, how's it going? So, proxies. Um, it's a bit of a hot topic, actually. I didn't think it would be such a hot topic. I, uh, I, I'm unemployed at the moment, so for me, I think that adding cards that are like hundreds of francs to my deck in the form of fakes, I think is a completely reasonable thing to do. Um, I I absolutely love Magic the Gathering. I've fallen head over heels for it again, and even though I buy exclusively singles, I refuse to buy boosters. I think that's ridiculous. Um, I There's only so many singles that I can buy each month, and yeah, I think the more I explore where Magic is at the moment, the more I realize the different ways that people play. And for me, I've got 4 decks now. 2 of them are completely proxies, and 2 of them are like complete real cards that are my pride and joy. And the other 2 that are proxies are like my kind of um, trial decks, let's say, like a little experiment. And yeah, I'm really happy with the little setup I've got going at the moment. I've been getting them printed at the local print shop in here where I'm living, and 150 cards cost like $20, something like that. And I bought myself a guillotine, and I've been doing all the trimming myself, which is it's work. It's hard work. It probably take like 2 hours, 3 hours to maybe 2 hours to do like the full 100 card deck, and it's repetitive work, but it was good fun. I really liked connecting to the deck and each card, and there are some like artifacts that are really expensive where I over trimmed them a little bit, which is quite funny. Because yeah, and I also got a little corner rounderer, corner rounder, corner rounderer, you know, rounding the corners. I got that off of Amazon, and that's really nice. Nice little finishing touch. But yeah, for me, like I'm deep in it. I love it. I love the game, and proxies just allow me to play the game in more ways. So to have a sort of competitive bracket 5 CEDH deck, I don't think it's possible without proxies, because cards like Lion's Eye Diamond, that kind of thing, they only have one edition, I would say, or like they've only been printed once. So each card is like 300 francs, $300. And yeah, so I started looking at high level games, and that was what kind of made me print my second deck that's fully proxied. The first deck is really just an extension. So I'll tell you the 4 decks I've got. I've got zombies, which for me it was always like when I used to play when I was an adolescent, a child. When I was younger, I I've always been mono black, or black and white, or white, and mostly mono black, and yeah, I wanted to recreate the zombie deck, so I did that, And then I had the idea of demon cult, so mostly humans, with the intention of sacrificing the humans to bring about some demons. And then I extended that with proxies as, hey, I've just got an idea for a deck, but not the funds to go and buy like all the fancy lands again and all that kind of stuff. I wanted a demon Voltron deck, so nice artifacts, big demons. You give the artifacts to the demons, and the demons go and do all the work, and yeah, this deck is a strong bracket 2, low bracket 3 kind of deck, and it's the deck that I won my first ever game of Commander with. And yeah, it's thanks to Proxies that I was able to ever play that and win a game of Commander, Really happy days. But yeah, then there's the what's the other one? That was the third one, and then the fourth one is the bracket 5 Krieg deck. So Son of Yawgmoth. Not sure where I'm going to play a level 5 deck or bracket 5 deck for the moment. I'm looking to jump into the world of playing Commander like through Discord with the top-down webcam on spell table, all that kind of stuff. So that's like one avenue I want to try. CEDH. I'll see if the local game store group has anyone in the WhatsApp that wants to play bracket 5. I never played it, so excited. But yeah, I had this idea for the deck, the bracket 5 deck, and yeah, I found a list online on YouTube and I edited it a little bit, but when I put it in my Archer deck as a list that I kind of wanted to work on, the estimated price was like 2,200, and I was never gonna pay that much money. It's ridiculous. And imagine if I wanted to have 2 level bracket 5 decks, And I like the idea of making a deck and then not deconstructing it. I like the idea of, okay, I've got my zombie deck, I've got my 2 demon decks, I've got my level 5 deck. Like, I wouldn't want to I've got 1 copy of what's it called, Phyrexian Arena or whatever card, that I'm going to have to move between the 4 decks. I just like the idea of having, my decks are built and ready to go. I know what each of them does, and I don't need to move things around. For me, it's fine to maybe move around the commander, my level 2 demon deck. I thought about maybe just using Crick as the commander for that to see how that works. That's a whole different game, whole different thing. But yeah, I dipped my toes into proxying. I was just like, yeah, we're gonna try this, see how it goes. But before that, I went to a festival on my own, a board game festival, and I don't know what I was thinking or doing or why. I was just like, yeah, I just feel called to go to this this board game festival, and it was from Friday evening until Sunday, and it didn't close, so you could stay there from beginning to end if you wanted. People were there with their sleeping bags, like it was a big sleepover kind of thing. And I went there for the Saturday, and I was just chatting with people that I knew from where I live. But it was a big thing for me to go out of my comfort zone and kind of go and chat with people, you know. But yeah, so I found a table where people were playing Magic, and the Magic games were being run by a shop in the local area, I think, that were kind of guiding people through how to play Magic, that kind of thing. And really they were kind of there with the intention of introducing people to Magic. And I had only played like 3 or 4 times with other people, Commander, and a bunch of times with my girlfriend. And I was like, hey, do you want to play? And they were like, yeah. And they had like a bunch of decks, like all these kind of pre-constructed decks that they had with, you know, the intention of using them to demonstrate what Magic is and all that kind of stuff. And we played Commander, and I didn't win, but I came close. I had some good tricks up my sleeve, and had a really, really good time. And what I realized is that all of the cards all the decks that they had were just really high quality proxies. And it dawned on me that a shop like that, they probably use proxies because, you know, they don't want to invest in decks and then just have them stolen or destroyed and all that kind of thing. And so before I had even printed any proxies, I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to have this expensive deck only for people to then touch the deck or want to touch the deck. Do you know what I mean? Like in the heat of the moment in games, sometimes it's like, let me see your graveyard. Bam, 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 bam. Let me see this. Let me see your hand. Bam, 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 bam. And I'm like, I don't really like that so much. Call it fussy or call it whatever, but like, if I've got cards in there that are worth like $50 each, it takes me out of the moment of enjoying the game, and all of a sudden I go into collector mode. I'm thinking like that there are two sides to this hobby. One is collector and one is gamer, and I like to stay in the gamer mode if I can, which for me means like I'm focused on the game and like that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not thinking like, oh, that card, this deck cost me 2,000. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, shit, my collection. Like, I used to have it with DJing. Like, I would carry my vinyl to a night out, and then, you know, my vinyl is outside the house. Like, it's not a nice feeling. It was a nice feeling to play the vinyl, and you know, mix in alcohol and all that kind of stuff. Your vinyl gets kind of bashed around and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so I want to play the game to a certain high level, which requires certain cards. Am I willing to buy those cards? Not all right now, but like, you know, once things start moving in my personal life and I find a job and all that good stuff, like, yeah, I probably will start making a collection in that sense. Like, I probably will want to own all the cards that go in that deck, but I'm not going to buy them all at once, and I'm not going to stop myself from playing with that deck now. I don't think that changes anything. I think if I am playing the deck now, then I'm only going to get better at Magic and more invested in Magic, you know, which in the long run I think is a better thing for Wizards of the Coast. Not that I'm buying boosters, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so I set up a little print shop, and um, one of the things for me is like I really want to make my own cards. I really want to do my own artwork or alternate artwork for Magic the Gathering cards, and I have like a style in mind. And one of the things for me is that like I would love to have a deck list where I'm like, okay, this is finished. This is a deck that has been refined down to be like a bracket 3 demon, slightly Voltron deck. You know, whatever the purpose of the deck is, that it has like a name, it has a purpose, and all the cards work together to bring home a victory with that deck. So the goal for me is to have some decks that are like that are finished in a sense, and then for me to make my own cards, a 100% proxy deck where I have designed every card using the cards in that deck as the template kind of thing, you know. So if there's like 20 swamps in that deck, then I would make 20 swamps. And, you know, I'd like to do that with my zombie deck as well, but the demon deck is what's calling me the most at the moment. It's like the one that for me is like the most fun to play. And playing in bracket 3 just makes things really exciting. But yeah, I set up my own little like printing shop, and it just feels like a taste of what that could be like, you know, cutting down the cards, rounding the corners. I've really enjoyed the process. It's brought me so much joy, and I know that the proxies are like a hot topic in a sense because there are people that spit on them. They're just like fake cards. You're cheating. You know, that's not tournament legal. All that kind of stuff. And hey, I completely agree with you. Like, you know, you're allowed to think that, but as an artist, I am never gonna stop making my own versions of cards that are a tribute to something that I love. I think that is, for me, is more important than playing with cards that are tournament legal, knowing that I'm never going to play in a tournament. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, for me, like what they give me is access to playing decks in a sort of almost finished state, or it gives me the capacity to refine the deck, you know, and work towards that finished deck where I can do the 100% proxy thing. And so yeah, I've been going to like a local game store here where I live, and every Tuesday night, and it's just so much fun. Like, to play with people is so much fun. And there are people there with like, I've seen like 20, 30 decks in one dude's backpack, you know? And I'm like, wow, you know, he knows all of those decks. He knows what each of them does. And there are proxies in there, and nobody gives a fuck, you know? Nobody gives a fuck. This dude has obviously spent a lot of money on cardboard, like from Wizard of the Coast. So he's supporting the main brand that's behind this game we love. Each of those decks are in deck boxes, double sleeved. So he's supporting the local store where he's playing, you know. And each of those decks has a purpose, and so he's finished a deck, and he can just play it. And for me, I was just like, hell yeah, like that's really inspiring. I really like that. And so for me, I have a bracket 2, 2 bracket 3s, and a bracket 5 physical, and then I've been playing Magic the Gathering online as well, where I have all of those decks. Not the Bracket 5. The Bracket 5 was way too expensive. You can't proxy online, so that one, the Bracket 5 I don't have yet. All of the artifacts, the Mox Diamond and the things like that, Lion's Eye Diamond, these kind of things, they're still quite expensive online. And that's another thing is that's another way that I'm giving money to Woods of the Coast, right? Is by buying digital cards. It kind of balances out in the end, right? But yeah, ultimately, I love the feel of the real cards in my hand. I don't think anything beats that. But for now, proxies are how I play, how I learn, and how I stay sane with being unemployed, but wanting to play the game in more ways than one. But yeah, I just wanted to get that little ramble out. If you're in a similar spot, then hey, you're not alone. Drop me a message, drop me a comment. Where do you stand on proxies? Like I say, I know it's a bit of a hot topic at the moment, but well, I guess it's always going to be a hot topic. But I don't think it's as serious as it needs to be made out. Like, not everyone is trying to play it in a tournament, But yeah, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.